Okay, good morning, everybody. It's kind of crazy how one video will spark the idea of another video. But I was talking about the house of darkness that I moved into. That definitely there was a light there when I left. And the new owners are shining their light brightly too. But the other darkness that was in Benton, they called it Benton Turns. I'm telling you, it was a Peyton place out there in Millersburg. But the one thing that I didn't know a lot of, that I'd grown up with my whole life, was the Amish. And I want to enlighten you on some things that I learned. One of which, LaGrange County, Indiana, has an Amish population of over 15,000, which makes it the third largest in the U.S. after Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, with 26,270, and Holmes County, Ohio, 17,654. Shipshewana itself only has a population of about 650 residents, but it is surrounded by Amish farms, is a local hub for Amish businesses, and is where many Amish work, socialize, and shop. And Shipshewana is considered the heart of Amish country. Go figure. So I'm not surprised that I'm going to talk about the Amish. So with that in mind, I found an article on ShipshewanATradingPlace.com, dated August 9th of 2016. Kind of crazy. My only marriage, I was married on August 9th. So that's not a coincidence. This article is about the Amish culture, 6 social courtesies by Tammy Tilley. And the post originally appeared on visitshipshewana.org. LaGrange County and Shipshewana, Indiana, are home to the third largest Amish community in the nation. This community's simple way of life is the reason many people visit our area, to observe, learn about, pay tribute to, and purchase items from the Amish. With the travel season upon us, here are a few things to remember as you travel to our area and interact with the Amish. 6 social courtesies. Number 1. Upon your arrival, you will notice the roads filled with bikes and buggies. Many people will be walking and kids will be riding pony carts. It's so cool. Please slow down and take extra caution as you travel. Buggies follow the same road rules as vehicles, so they are allowed to be on the road. I'm just a little concerned about the age limit of some of the kids with the buggies, but they've got their own guidelines to follow. Please don't honk at the horses pulling buggies. The sound easily could spook the horses. Totally. The Amish in our area understand the fact that visitors come to get to know them. Within limits, they will visit some with you. But if you choose not to, that's okay. Even if you don't get into a conversation with them, they will provide a smile and a nod. And if you're lucky, you'll even get hugs like I did, which is not something they do, but it's me. As part of their religious heritage, Amish believes photographs are graven images. So please do not take photos of their faces, grown-ups or children. It's tempting, we know, but please honor their culture by not taking photographs. Now, I have asked, and they have obliged. I learned that from Ken Hagedorn, because the Mullet family, we used to go and have meals with them, and they were in family photographs. In fact, we were there Christmas time-ish, something, play games. It was super fun. And he was a pastor, the head of the household, the king of the castle. He was a pastor as well, a minister. Do stop in at their home businesses. On the Amish backroads, many of these businesses help sustain the Amish way of life. You'll see many signs on our county roads advertising these small cottage businesses. When you see a sign, you're automatically invited to stop in. You'll be welcomed. Now I'm gonna add a little sidebar to this. What I found in the Amish backroads was pornography. I didn't expect to see that. then when I asked around, I found out within the community that the Amish have a dark side. And there's sex addicts within the Amish community as well. So as Benton turns, that little Peyton place didn't stop with just normal people like me. It has infested, that enemy has infested the Amish community as well. And I saw it. I saw it on the ground when I'd walk or ride my bike. I'd be picking the stuff up going, what the frick is this doing out here? We don't live in Elkhart. We don't live in, and to be honest, I never saw that stuff on the street in Elkhart. But they're hiding it. So they drop it. Just saying. Most shops are closed on Sunday. So the Amish can honor the Sabbath with a day of rest and spend uninterrupted time with their family. So plan your schedule accordingly. And it's amazing too that they have their own little congregations within their units, and there's multiple ones. There are some churches that they go to that I've seen, but it's almost like they build these barns, and within the barns are their fellowship halls, or their sanctuaries. I mean, it's pretty cool. And in fact, I went to a viewing for one, which was quite a different experience than how the rest of the world honors the death of a human. It's almost like a receiving line, but it's different. You walk in, you greet them, which I gave them hugs because I couldn't not hug them, and I was glad that they embraced me, because the men don't do that, but he did. They lost their son. That was an infant that had struggled with medical issues ever since it was born. It was born with webbed hands, webbed feet, constant. There was all kinds of things wrong with this child. And it was a fighter. That child fought. And I even picked up a prescription once for them while I was out that they needed. That was completely provided by the government. So when you're out in that community and you really open your ears and take the film off your glasses, you really see a whole different side of the Amish that you never knew existed. I was one of them. No wonder they have shows. And some of them are defiant. Some of them change their clothes at school because they don't want to conform. They want to be an individual. I get that. Some of them leave the community. And some come back to the community. It just depends on what their path is. But the one thing about the Amish, they're all about Jesus. They're all about God. The Amish share traditional Christian beliefs, such as the Trinity. Inerrancy of the Bible, adult baptism by sprinkling, the atoning death of Jesus Christ, and the existence of heaven and hell. However, the Amish think the doctrine of eternal security would be a sign of personal arrogance. Who are the Amish? This was published February 3rd of 2022 by Jack Zavada, and it's on learnreligions.com. The Amish are among the most unusual Christian denominations, seemingly frozen in the 19th century. They isolate themselves from the rest of society, rejecting electricity, automobiles, and modern clothing. Although the Amish share many beliefs with evangelical Christians, they are also hold to some unique doctrines. Full name, Old Order Amish Mennonite Church, also known as Old Order Amish, Amish Mennonites. Known for a conservative Christian group in the United States and Canada, known for their simple, old-fashioned, agrarian way of life, plain dress, and pacifist stance. The founder was Jacob Ammann. Founding Amish roots go back to the 16th century Swiss Anabaptists. Headquarters: while no central governing body exists, the vast majority of Amish live in Pennsylvania, Lancaster County, Ohio, Holmes County, and northern Indiana, Shipshewana. Well, this LaGrange County. Worldwide membership: approximately 700 Amish congregations exist in the United States, and in Ontario, Canada, memberships have grown to more than 350,000 as of 2020. The leadership: individual congregations are autonomous, establishing their own rules and leadership. Their mission: to live humbly and remain unblemished by the world, Romans 12:2 and James 1, verse 27. The Amish are one of the Anabaptist denominations dating back to the 16th century Swiss Anabaptists. They follow the teachings of Menno Simons, founder of the Mennonites, and the Mennonite Dordrecht Confession of Faith. In the late 17th century, a European movement split from the Mennonites under the leadership of Jacob Ammann, from whom the Amish derive their name. The Amish became a reform group settling in Switzerland and the southern Rhine River region. Mostly farmers and craftsmen. Oh, and they are amazing. The mullets, when I went with the Hagedorns and had meals there, he told us about a craftsman that came in, a woodsman, that came in, and he wanted a bookshelf made, a built-in, for this room. And he came in with a piece of string, not a measuring tape, a piece of string, and he went like this, didn't write anything down, kept it all up here, and then came back, and it fit like a glove. I'll never forget that. Never forget that. So talk about craftsmen. Oh boy, they are very excellent at it. And their work is amazing to watch and look at. Many of the Amish migrated to the American colonies in the early 18th century. Because of its religious tolerance, many settled in Pennsylvania, where the largest concentration of older Amish is found today. More than 600 Amish congregations are found in 20 states in the United States and in Ontario, Canada. I did not know that. I didn't know the Amish was clear up in Canada. I'm just really finding that out today. Most are concentrated in Pennsylvania, Indiana, and Ohio. They have reconciled with Mennonite groups in Europe, where they were founded and no longer distinct there. No central governing body exists. Each district or congregation is autonomous, establishing its own rules and beliefs. Which is really interesting when you look around today. We're heading in that direction because our government, people are not listening to. They think we are, but how many people are going to conform? Oh, there'll be conformists, but there'll be plenty of me out there. Plenty of us that are not going to conform. Humility is the main motivation behind almost everything the Amish do. Humility, isn't that beautiful? They believe the outside world has a morally contaminating effect. Well, that's for sure. Therefore, Amish communities conform to a set of rules for living known as Ordnung. These rules are established by the leaders of each district and form the foundation of Amish life and culture. And I'm going to spell that. It's Ordnung. So I'm pronouncing it Ordnung. The Amish wear dark, simple clothing so as not to attract undue attention and fulfill their overriding aim of humility. Well, they don't wear dark necessarily, not all dark. They wear, light pink, light blue, light yellow. They wear pastel colors, but with black. Do they wear navy? I think they wear navy, but mainly black. Black is all the buggies are black. They're not blue, they're black. Women wear a white prayer covering on their heads if they are married, black if they are single. Married men wear beards, single men do not. Community is central to the Amish way of life. Raising large families, working hard, farming the land, and socializing with neighbors are the main thrusts of community life. TBN on demand, Christ is risen, just came up. Modern entertainment and conveniences like electricity, television, radio, appliances, and computers are all rejected. Well, not exactly. They have found their ways of being able to utilize our technology in their own mindsets without I don't want to say breaking their laws, but I'm trying to think of the word. But they do it. They have cell phones, and they charge them not with electricity. But there's also some other new thing, because before I moved into Green Acres, we lived at the Bat Cave, which was sold to the Amish. And they could have electricity on for 1 year after the purchase. I'm not sure about that. I don't understand that. But that was what I had heard. Community is central to the Amish way of life. Raising large families, working hard, farming the land, and socializing with neighbors are the main thrusts of the community life. Modern entertainment and conveniences like electricity, television, radio, appliances, and computers are all rejected. I'm taking that with a grain of salt. Children receive a basic education, but higher education is believed to be a worldly endeavor. I can understand that now. All you gotta do is look around, you can learn. The Amish are nonviolent, conscientious objectors who refuse to serve in the military or police force, fight in wars, or sue in a court of law. Interesting. The Amish deliberately separate themselves from the world and practice a strict lifestyle of humility. A famous Amish person is a true contradiction in terms. The Amish share traditional Christian beliefs such as the Trinity, inerrancy of the Bible, adult baptism by sprinkling, the atoning death of Jesus Christ, and the existence of heaven and hell. However, the Amish think the doctrine of eternal security would be a sign of personal arrogance. Although they believe in salvation by grace, the Amish hold that God weighs their obedience to the church during their lifetime, then decides whether they merit heaven or hell. The Amish people isolate themselves from the English, their term for non-Amish, believing their world has a morally polluting effect. Well, it does. Hello. Look what it's done to the Amish. I'm finding sex stuff on the ground. Oh, yeah. And hearing confirmation of that's what they do. Some of them do. Those who fail to keep the church's moral code are in danger of shunning a practice similar to excommunication. So they be booted out is what I'm guessing. The Amish usually do not build churches or meeting houses. On alternating Sundays, they take turns meeting in one another's homes for worship. It's pretty cool. It's not pretty, it's really cool. On other Sundays, they attend neighboring congregations or meet with friends and family. The service includes singing, prayers, a Bible reading, a short sermon, and a main sermon. Women cannot hold positions of authority in the church. Twice a year, in the spring and fall, the Amish practice communion. Funerals are held in their home. I went to one. With no eulogies or flowers. Well, I took a plant for them to plant and some, cupcakes or cookies or something. And they loved them. A plain casket is used, and women are often buried in their purple or blue wedding dress. Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. A simple marker is put on the grave. So I don't know. I felt the need to share that and to find out some stuff that I didn't know about the Amish. It's pretty amazing. But there's a darkness within that community as well. And hopefully they can get that cleaned up. Because the world is a-changing every day, if you haven't noticed. And it is getting lighter amidst all of the enemies out there and the darkness. It is getting lighter. So we all have to unite in love in order to succeed with what he wants us to do. To honor and love thy neighbor as thyself. So, I hope you learned something about the Amish today. I certainly learned more about the Amish that I didn't know. Still saddened that they have a darkness within their community, but it exists everywhere right now. We just need to figure out how we're gonna, which I already know. I mean, he's told us God is love. How are you going to do it? Unite with love. That's how you're going to fix it. So, spread love, not war. Love to all bunches and bunches. Stay tuned. I have more coming up.